What is up, guys, and welcome back to Vanderham.farms. My name is Brian, and first off, I want to start off by saying huge thank you to Jan for coming out and visiting our farm. Also, thank you guys for subscribing. It really means a lot to us. And yeah, I also seen that a lot of you guys had some questions about our bedding, our dry manure, or DMS, as you might find out if you search it up. So yeah, that's what's going to be today's video's topic. Just try to explain a little bit of how we process our dried manure and how it is safe for the cows. So yeah, guys, I'm currently like in the middle of the dairy. This is where all the water drains from the flushes. And here you guys can see the drain. You can also see how there's some water on that side. So all our pens are actually sloped down towards the middle of each one. So each barn, it's like that in between. And they'll have these drains, so whenever it rains, we're able to pump that out as well. Try to keep our pens as clean as possible. Yeah, guys, I also seen in the last video that someone corrected me. I had called the Texas Gator cattle guard. I'm by no means perfect, so if you guys ever see me make a mistake like that, just go ahead and tell me in the comments below, and I really appreciate that. Yeah, these Texas gates are pretty sweet. I mean, you don't have to get off and open gates or anything like that, and then the cows are able to stay where they need to be. So I mean, they're pretty sweet. We have those in basically all our pens. So now I'm out by our catch pit, or manure pit. I'm not really sure what you call this. This is basically where all that water from those drains that I showed you guys right now, this is where it all comes, right here. And from there, it's actually going to go to our separator, where it's going to separate our solids from our liquids. Unfortunately, it's not running right now. It's set on a schedule to where it runs automatically. If you guys wait for part 2 of SaskDutch Kids video, you guys are going to actually see that in action. And I actually went ahead and opened the side of one, so you guys kind of see how the liquid runs from behind. So yeah, this separator, the sand lane that you guys can see right here, and also the digester, which is right there, that's all part of our brand new manure management system. It's something that we're working on just to help the environment, and it's supposed to help us also harvest energy from the cow's manure, which is something pretty cool. Over here you guys can see this was our older separator. And here you can see the pile of solids that's been separated from the liquid. So basically what happens is liquid will be entering at the top. There's a screen that separates all the solids. And at the bottom, there's 2 rollers that will squeeze whatever liquid is left in the manure. And it all falls down here. And this is actually what we'll use for our bedding. There is still a bit of moisture in it. I mean, here you can see. But I mean, you squeeze it, there's nothing coming out of it anymore. This is basically what it looks like. It looks like a lot of like fibers, just like straw and other fibers that the cow consumed. And now this is separated. There's a bit of hair as well, you can see right there. And from here, the solids go out to the back where they are dried and piled up. So we'll go ahead and head back there and show you guys, as well as explain a little bit better as to what happens back there. So here you guys can see those piles that they brought from the separator. They put them in these windrows or whatever with the side dump. And they're going to bring more piles as well. And eventually what they're going to do is come with the scraper, flatten it all out, and then we have a spinning harrow that they use just to aerate and flip the dirt. That way it's all consistent. Here you guys can see our side dump. It looks like they're coming for bedding, so they're probably going to go ahead and clean up some of those pens. They already have a loader out here, so they'll go ahead and just take some of that dry manure that's already been treated. All this flat area that you see behind me, that's what we use to dry our manure. And so once the solids will come from the separator, they'll go ahead and be spread out, and we'll flip them consistently. They'll be out there for about a week. We do the majority of our drying during the summers, where it could take up to like 5 days, 3 to 5 days to properly cure. And during the winters, it could take up to a week or two, depending on the temperatures and how much sun we get. On the actual other system that I was talking about, where they use the heated drum to cure it, that will take anywhere from 24 hours to 72 hours. So it's a way quicker process, but it's just, since we're a pretty big operation, we need something on a bigger scale, and that's just not something that's reasonable for us. So we'd rather go those 5 days to a week or so with doing this. So yeah, guys, this is our pile, what we're actually using for bedding right now. You can see it's much darker than what I showed you guys before. Basically, what's going to happen during the time that it's sitting here, and these piles will stay here for about a year or so. So I mean, they're here for a while, and they're exposed to pretty extreme temperatures. Probably the pile will reach temperatures of up to 150. And this is really dry. Here, you guys can see what it is. It's what we use for the bedding, and it's just really fluffy. It's been cured. Most of the bacteria is significantly removed, and this is safe for us to use as bedding. So some of the reasons why we tarp these piles is because obviously we want to keep it dry for our bedding, but also if any moisture gets in, since it does reach those high temperatures, it's the same thing as bells, to where they're self-combustible, and they'll catch fire. Some of you guys may know that, like, when hay bales are piled together in a really hot place, and if they get any moisture, they'll catch fire on their own. These piles are basically the same, and yeah, that's something that we're trying to prevent. Since those fires cannot be put out with water, you have to just try to separate as much of that as possible. So from here, these dry manure solids are actually going to go into our bedding trailer, and I'm gonna go ahead and try to record that for you guys, so you guys can get a couple clips of how that's done, as well as of them raking and cleaning the beds, and kind of our management of the beds and what we do to keep it sanitary for the cows. So yeah, I've seen a lot of you guys were really confused by us using dry manure solids as bedding. That's actually something that's pretty common out here in California, I feel like. Obviously sand is a way better bedding, just because it does keep a way cooler temperature. Come on, girl. Come on, girl. Yeah, and here's some of this bedding that we were talking about. See, so this is pretty dry stuff. I mean, if someone didn't know that this was dried manure, you probably wouldn't even know. This looks more like just some organic matter. So typically we'll bed our pens about 3 times a week. So basically every other day. And that's just to ensure they have some fresh bedding. So this here is our Rake Tractor. It also has our feed pusher, and it has a piece of tire attached in the back. This basically just sweeps our alleys. We do have flush system. You can see one over here just starting to run. But there's a lot of manure that gets real close to the beds. So by pushing it towards the middle, once the flush turns on, we ensure that all the manure is taken away. Yeah, so there you guys can see what the tractor is actually doing. I mean, there's not a whole lot of manure in this pen, but yeah, you can see basically all the manure is left right in the middle. Yeah, and I'll go ahead and show you guys how he rakes the beds right now as well. They do this twice a day, so basically every milking. So as soon as they take the cows out, he'll come in and sweep, and then every other day basically is when we go ahead and bed them again. So I believe the trailer should be coming in a little bit, so I'll stick around, see if I can record that for you guys. But yeah, basically every other day, 3 times a week, we bed our beds again. So they're always on fresh manure, and then they're passing over them twice. So that way right now when the cows return from milking, they're gonna have a fresh fluffy bed, and it's gonna be pretty comfortable for them. So here you can actually see the bedding trailer. That's about to go in right now. We run a walk-on trailer. It's a stall bedder, so I mean, this thing does a pretty good job. It has this chain that you can see from the bottom that scoots forward, and then there's another conveyor belt on the side that shoots it out. It's pretty loud, so I'm sorry if you guys can't hear that good. Here you guys can kind of see the process. It's landing a little bit more this way than on that side, but every other day he'll switch sides. So this time he's going in on the left side, and then next time he comes in, he'll actually reverse in and go on the other side. I mean, there is a lot that's going through the middle either ways, but this just kind of helps out to ensure that we're getting pretty even on both sides. Yeah, so once again, the first thing that he's going to be doing is sweeping the lanes, and then once again we'll have him bust the beds, and I'll show you guys the difference, what it looks like before and after. And I also went ahead and set up a GoPro on the actual spreading tractor, so he's supposed to go in right now as well. You guys can see the bedding tractor is now going in. So here's a pretty good example of what the bed looks like after the rake has passed by. Well, this here is what it looks like before. You know, you can see where the cow is laying down. And typically this is how he does it. He just, in between passes, he'll just carefully slide it in. Yeah, so here you can see where the bedder actually just passed by. I mean, it's just really nice and uniform. The rake went over it as well. So I mean, the beds, they're really dry. There's not any moisture. It's really fluffy. Just so yeah, guys, you guys see here, this entire half of the barn on this side is actually a pack barn, and yeah, we use the same stuff to bed these, and they'll bring about 2 loads for each side. So he just dropped off 1 load. He's probably gonna go get another one, and the same thing for these other pens. And yeah, once a week they'll go ahead and bring out all the moist manure in under the shades and spread it out here, and then they'll haul it out probably tomorrow or some other day on the week. And then with the scraper itself, they'll just go ahead and push it over into the beds, and then our other guy with the rototiller will actually come until the whole barn. So yeah, guys, we just finished up with that last pen that you guys seen. I hope that answers some of you guys' questions. Obviously, cow comfort is one of our top priorities, as well as their health. If a cow's not healthy or not comfortable, she's not going to be producing as much milk as she would if she was comfortable. Yeah, obviously, DSM is a way cheaper option than sand. And if we could, we would go over to sand. It's just that, yeah, we don't have that source of sand on our property. And also, in order to go to sand, we'd have to switch up our beds since they're not deep enough to go for sand. And another thing is, yeah, it's just more expensive. Sand wears out a lot of your parts. And we just set up the way that we are, and it works for us. And we maintain it, and we try to keep it the best we can. So thank you guys for watching. Go ahead and like and subscribe, share, and comment down below what you guys want to see next or any questions that you guys have. Whatever you guys want me to do a video on next, I'll try to go ahead and make it. I'll be looking through all the comments, so thank you guys.